You know, when I first heard about the brand Tralucent Audio, I thought they misspelled the name, they forgot an S in translucent. But actually, when I dig further, Tralucent actually means transparent in Latin. Now, with all this confusion out of the way, my name is Kenneth and welcome to the NL channel. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the Tralucent Audio OnePlus 2.3. Now, before I get into the review bit, it will really give me a lot of encouragement if you guys just subscribe and like this video. Press on the bell icon if you want to receive notifications. I really appreciate it and hope to have more content coming up very soon. Alright, so right now I'm going to do an unboxing of the Tralucent Audio OnePlus 2.3. So as you can see, it comes with a very nice velvet bag. It's a bit dusty on mine because I got my loaner set for, for a while, and the velvet bag, eventually just accumulates dust. But it's a very nice Tralucent Audio velvet bag. So I remove it, and it actually comes in a very nice case that has a hygrometer built in, so you can actually monitor the humidity levels inside the case. Now this is very helpful if you want to keep your irons dry. I think everybody should. I think it's safe to have them relative humidity of, let's say, 40% or 50% to keep the funky stuff like mold and fungus. I think most photographers know this, right? It's actually a very nice, it's very well built, it's textured, it has the Tralucent Audio logo located right here. It's finished really truly very nicely. Then also, they have two very nice mirror finish buckles. Now I'm going to open it. It requires a bit of strength to open. So once you open it, you are actually greeted by the instruction manual, which I don't think you actually need to use it. And also, you can see now this is the IEMs. Let me just lift them off my keyboard to show them to you. This is the Tralucent Audio OnePlus 2.3. There's a very nice logo by the sides, and I think we've already seen, I'll show you more pictures of the earphones in a bit. The ear tips are gone, but that's okay because I think they've already been used, it's fine. And when you remove this, below it there's another box branded Tralucent Audio, and let's see what's inside it. It's actually a very nice leather case from Tralucent Audio, which you can put your OnePlus 2.3 in, and you can just chuck them around your bag when you want to travel with them. And lastly, you get a polishing cloth to make them look all very nice and shiny, and also a cleaning stick, 1/4 inch jack adapter, airplane adapter, and this alcohol pen. Now I think this is meant for cleaning ear tips. If you want to use them to clean, I'm not sure what, plastic or something like that, you might cloud it, or you might cause the plastic to go a bit brittle, so I'll just use it to clean ear tips. But yeah, the box on the whole is actually very nice. It's actually well padded on the inside, and you can actually put some silica gel so that you can maintain the relative humidity. Overall, the packaging is very nice. Really enjoyed it. And in this case, really, you can just chuck in your suitcase if you want to bring it around. For me, I don't think I'll use this that much, but yeah, I'll just basically use the pouch more often because I think it suits my lifestyle a bit better. Overall, it's a very nice packaging by Tralucent Audio. Well done. Now let's talk a bit on technology. The OnePlus 2.3 features 3 drivers. This is actually a hybrid design. They have one 10mm driver from Germany, followed by 2 balanced armature from the Americas. One thing to note is that the driver configuration, they actually configure it in a coaxial manner. So the dynamic driver is located at the back, and the balanced armature is just barely in front of it, trying to make it as coaxial as possible. Now, these drivers are mated to a 3-way crossover, which is then connected to their UniQ, I think it's called UniQ, sound guide, and that leads basically the sound to your ears. It's not using any tubes per se, which makes it quite interesting. Now, one thing about the UniQ sound tube is that please do not get confused. This is not the same UniQ drivers from Kev. It is their own waveguide rather than actual drivers. Also, I'll give you a bit of the sound characteristics of the OnePlus 2.3, but first please let me state my references today. Let me tell you the DAPs that I'm actually using for this review. First would be the Lotto Power Gold Touch. Well, this DAP has high resolution, it's very dynamic, it's very natural and neutral sounding, so it really picks up a lot of micro nuances, just a very high resolution DAP that can power almost any IEMs with ease. Now, the next DAP that I actually use on this review would be the Kind N8, which is a competitor to the Lotto Pogo Touch. Well, this DAP actually also has high resolution, but one thing I think it differs from the Pogo Touch is that it is rather warm sounding, especially from its single-ended channel, whereby it features the Korg new tube, and it's also a very capable DAP. I also enjoy it a lot. I just use the different DAPs for different purposes. But anyways, back to the sound analysis next. Now let me talk a bit about the sound characteristics of the OnePlus 2.3 by itself first. Well, the treble of the OnePlus 2.3 actually extends quite well. It actually has very good resolution. Is it the best in its class? I'll maybe give you some comparisons later to find out if that is true or not. It extends well, it's there, it's present, but it's never fatiguing. So you actually get you hear a lot of the cymbals going on, but you never once feel that, oh my goodness, this is just too much. It's like poking my ears, that kind of thing. You actually don't get that. The mid-range, on the other hand, it's where the OnePlus 2.3 actually shines. Remember earlier I said that this is a neutral leaning warm earphone. With the leaning warm part comes mostly from the mids, because the mids are very present. You get a lot of texture through the mids. So if you're listening to music such as Taylor Swift or even Bianca or these older generation sort of singers, you get a lot of throatiness, a lot of resolution in the mids. It's slightly thicker. Now with this kind of signature, there is actually some drawbacks, but I'll talk about them a little bit later. With regards to the bass actually extends low, it goes quite deep, and there is actually quite a bit of a mid-bass presence. Mid-bass has texture, it is tight, it is fast. You can actually feel the thump, the oomph of the music through the mid-bass. Well, the mid-bass actually, it's a bit more present than the sub-bass, although it's there, but you tend to hear a bit more mid-bass than the sub-bass. Earlier I mentioned that there is some detriment to having a more mid-centric sort of sound. Now this is where the OnePlus 2.3 actually, well, you can actually hear why I'm saying that there is a bit of a detriment. Now, when it comes to soundstage, it's generally quite a good imaging earphone. You get the positioning very well. But one thing that you don't get with this is that you just don't, because of the how slightly warm and thick the mid-range is, the vocals are, everything else seems to not be as spacious due to that vocal congestion. I think it's the way how humans just listen. You can just focus on voices very well, but when you want to hear any other things other than voices, with an emphasis on the voice, other things just kind of feels a bit narrow. But it's still a adequately wide earphone, so it sounds quite natural, just with a smidgen of coloration with the mids, causing the soundstage to be not as wide as it can be. Now, together with the OnePlus 2.3 on the Kind N8, I'm actually running the tube section of the N8 for this review. So, with regards to the highs, the Kind N8 and the OnePlus 2.3 actually produces very lush, smooth highs, but it's actually, I find them to have slightly less detail compared to when I was using with the Pogo Touch. Now, with the N8 and the OnePlus 2.3, it is in the mid-range where it truly shines. It sounds huge, organic, lush, velvety, all these kind of words you can actually use to describe this combination. It actually sounds really quite nice if you are that sort of listener who wants this sort of characteristics. Well, comparing to the Pogo Touch, the combination, well, the Pogo Touch is a bit more clinical sounding. You get more resolution, dynamics in the mid-range, but you don't get the lushness that you have on the N8 and OnePlus 2.3. And with regards to the bass on the OnePlus 2.3 and the N8, you get a very fast, lush kind of sound. In fact, actually, I think the mid bass is also slightly emphasized as well. It's generally quite nice, but compared to the Pogo Touch, I think the Pogo Touch together with the Tralucent actually resolve bass better. It has better speed, better impact. But right here, everything that I'm saying is just minor nitpickings. Both DAPs work extremely well with the OnePlus 2.3, and it really depends on what you actually want as a listener for you to decide the combination. So let me start with the next combination. This is the Lotto Pogo Touch plus Tralucent Audio OnePlus 2.3. Now let me start with the treble frequencies first. Well, with the Lotto Pogo Touch and the Tralucent Audio, the combination actually results in a very articulate, very high, very fast, high frequency. Actually, I feel that there is actually higher resolution compared to the N8. Well, with regards to the mid-range, it is very different, very, very different from the Kind N8. It is a more dynamic, lush, sorry, lush is not the right word. It has a more dynamic sound. It's also more lively compared to the N8, which contrasts with the N8's velvety, lush sort of sound. And lastly, bass, it's also quite different. I just feel that with the Pogo Touch, you actually get a better slam on the bass frequencies. A resolution and extension actually it extends deeper and it hits harder as well. So if you like a dynamic sort of sound, go for the Pogo Touch. But if you like the warm, organic sort of sound, a bit retro sort of sound, then check the Kind N8 out for this combination. And now lastly, I would like to compare the Tralucent Audio One Plus 2.3 with another earphone that I've been using lately. This is the Fur Audio M5. You know, both of these are hybrid, or you can call the Fur Audio a tribrid design, and they actually produce a sound, you know, unlike the traditional single type of technology design. So let's see how do they stack up. Let me just give you a recap on the Tralucent Audio One Plus 2.3 sound. It's a very neutral, warmish type of earphone, and with that, the Tralucent Audio actually has mids that is warmer and more organic than the Fur Audio M5. Mid-range on the Fur Audio M5 is a bit more neutral. Actually, there is more resolution on the M5, but because of the way it's tuned, it actually sounds a bit thinner. Now, when you want to compare high frequencies, the Fur M5 actually well, extends more, and it's actually smoother sounding, smoother with more resolution than the OnePlus 2.3. Now, when it comes to bass, these two earphones actually perform very, very differently. The OnePlus 2.3 has a bit more mid-bass emphasis, so you get a bit more oomph in the mid-bass. However, the Fur M5 on the other hand doesn't actually do that. The Fur M5 is a bit more linear in sound when it comes to bass, so you get a bit more sub-bass. While the mid-bass is also present, but it actually never truly overpowers the sub-bass. And with that said, it all adds up to soundstage. The OnePlus 2.3 actually has a very decent soundstage for its type of signature, but when you're talking about absolute absolute soundstage, the M5 actually, with its signature, expands more. It has better layering, better depth than the Tralucent Audio One Plus 2.3. And with that, in conclusion, the Tralucent Audio One Plus 2.3, it is a vocal monster. So people who really like the vocal-centric kind of sound, maybe a bit old-fashioned tube sort of sound, you might really like the Tralucent Audio One Plus 2.3. I really enjoy it for, you know, as I mentioned, mainly female vocals. Even male vocals sounds amazing. And with that, thank you very much for hanging out with me in this rainy Sunday that I'm filming on, with the background being all thundery and all. Really appreciate it. If you really like my videos and want me to do a bit more, well, please like and subscribe. I'll try to do a bit more videos and be a bit more active. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.